Good morning, Year 5. Today in maths we're going to be looking at percentages, so this is going to be some new learning for us. I've only been giving you revision activities in maths recently because I was really hoping that we could come back to school so I could teach you percentages, because this will be the first time that you'll have done it and I didn't want you to get confused at home. But time's ticking on now and we do need to move forward with our learning. So make sure for this lesson you watch the video really carefully, and if you've got a grown-up to sit and help you, that would be great. So thank you in advance, parents. So what actually is a percentage? Percentages are always out of 100, so 100% is the maximum percentage that you could have, and it shows the amount of a number or a shape, and it could be a shape of any kind. And percentages are used for all sorts of things. So for example, here this person has changed their test score on their maths paper into a percentage. He got 98%. Obviously the lower the percentage means he would have done worse, and the higher percentage he would have done better. So he did very well in his maths, but he got 80% in his English, so not as good. People, especially grown-ups, use percentages when they say they're talking about possibility. So they might say there is no 0% chance that I'm going out in this rain. Or if someone asks you, are you sure? And you say, yep, I'm 100% sure, means you're absolutely certain. And lots of people use percentages to collect information from people. So this person has interviewed people and asked what internet provider they use. So 19% of people used Firefox, but more people use Chrome, and then they can put it in a table. So lots of different ways for using percentages. And today we're going to be looking at how to change fractions and decimals into percentages. So percentages link directly with what we were doing before, which was decimals. So here I've got 100 square, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts shaded. So if I was to write that as a fraction, it would be 6 parts shaded over 100 parts altogether. And that as a decimal would be 6 hundredths, because there are no tenths. Remember, the whole row or the whole column needs to be shaded in on 100 square for it to be tenths. Decimal point here, and then we need our placeholder 0. So 6 hundredths as a decimal is 0.06. And then actually percentages are much easier than you would think. On 100 square, and it's only 100 square for percentages, all you need to do is count up how many squares are shaded. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 hundredths, or 0.06 as a percentage, is 6%. And to do a percent sign, you do a diagonal line and 2 dots like that. 6%. Okay, let's have a look at this one then. So I've got 10 shaded in here. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So my fraction would be 16. That's my numerator, how many parts are shaded. My denominator, how many parts are altogether, 100. 16 hundredths as a decimal, 1/10. Whoopsie. 1/10, 6 hundredths, placeholder 0, and decimal point. And as a percentage, just the number of squares that's shaded, 16%. Okay, I'd like you to get some scrap paper now. Have a look at this 100 square, and can you tell me what it is showing as a fraction, as a decimal, and as a percentage? Pause your video, write it down on your scrap paper, and press play when you're ready to find out the answers. Okay, so as a fraction, 10, 20, 30, 40, 41 is my numerator over 100. As a decimal, I've got 4/10, 100ths, placeholder 0, decimal point 0.41, and as a percentage, it is 41%. Well done if you got those correct. Okay, pause your video now and have a go at this one as well, as a fraction, as a decimal, and as a percentage, and press play when you're ready to find out the answers. So you should have got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94 over 100 as your fraction, which is 0.94. 94, and as a percentage, 94%. Well done if you got that correct. So sometimes you'll be asked to find the percentage of a shape where it's not split into 100 parts, so that's going to be a little bit trickier. Here I've got a bar and I've split it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 parts. Remember that when you're working with percentages, it's always going to be out of 100, so that whole bar is going to be equal to 100, and there are 4 parts shaded in. So to find what one part equals, we can do what we would normally when we're finding a fraction of a number. Do 100, because that's what the total is, divided by 10, because that's how many parts there are, which equals 10. So each of these squares, each part of my bar, is equal to 10. And then I'm going to times 10 by 4, because there are 4 parts shaded. 10 times by 4 is, of course, 40. So I've got 40 up there. And that means the percentage of this bar model that's shaded is 40%. Or 4/10 as a fraction. 0.4 as a decimal. And the same goes for this shape. So it's split into 2 parts. The whole shape is 100. And we need to find out what this one is. So we can do 100 divided by 2, which is 50. So each part is worth 50, and it's just one part that's shaded. So 50 times by 1 is 50. So as a fraction, that would be a half. We can tell that just by looking at it. As a percentage, 50%. And as a decimal, 0.5. Okay, I'd like to pause your video now and have a go at doing these 2 shapes. Find the percentage of this one and this one. Remember, the total of all the bars is 100. Press play when you're ready to find out the answer. Okay, so the top one, the blue one, it's split into 10s. So each of those is equal to 10. So as a percentage, that would be 20%. This one splits into 4s. And if I do 100 divided by 4, I get 25. So each part is worth 25, and there are 3 parts altogether. So 3 times 25 is 75%. Well done if you got those correct. Your work today will be a lot of what we've just been doing, so have a go, try your best. I know we've not looked at percentages at all before. If you need me, I will be with Year 6 most of the days, but I'll keep my Google Classroom open and get back to you if I can during my lunch breaks, which are 12 till 1, or any time after 3 o'clock. So just try your best and ask a grown-up to help you too. Hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope I can see you all soon. Bye bye.